My name is Randy Bigley. Joining me on the podcast right now for the Colonel Crawford Local School District, we have Superintendent Todd Martin. Hello, Todd.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to 2023, right?
We're here.
We're here
to get rolling. I appreciate you bringing me in as always. It's always good to get the word out to our community, what's going on in the schools.
No problem. And you guys are back today from break?
Today's our first day back. Starts the second semester.
Yeah.
We always end the first semester before Christmas. We found back in 2014-15 that February and January could be horrible months missing school.
Sure, yeah.
And we found that the second grading period was way longer than the third because of all the calamity days. So we've made it a mission to get first semester done before break, so we give ourselves more time in that third grading period in case we have calamity days. And we always do in Crawford County.
Exactly, yeah. You guys have had a lot, though, this year, have you? Not much, really?
This year's been good, knock on wood, if I can find something. It's been pretty good. We've had one closure and a couple delays for fog, but...
And the big storm hit during Christmas break, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Timing was perfect.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was quite a storm.
Yeah, it was. It sure was. It was pretty windy out there, pretty cold. Yeah.
It was amazing that you had all those mounds of snow in the parking lot, and then a week later,
it's gone.
There's no sign that it was ever here.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's warm out, yeah.
But I'll take it.
Me too. So what's happening with the school district?
Well, the big thing in January is, one, it's Board Appreciation Month. Mm-hmm. So we'll acknowledge our board members at our regular board meeting in January, thank them for their service. Brad McKibben, our president, Marky Hoyles, our VP, Norm Huber, Scott Reich and Gordon Grove, we'll thank them for what they do. I think everything starts at the top and flows down. If you have good board members and good administration, and it flows down to teachers and kids, I think it's where it starts with your board. If your board has a vision that's good for kids, the district will run well.
Right.
If they don't, you'll have hurdles and bumps. Mm-hmm. But we're blessed. We have the organizational meeting coming up in a few days. And the organizational meeting is where you establish your president and your vice president. Mm-hmm. So you have nominations and votes, and you actually swear them in. It's all official.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On years where you have board members who are elected, and we have none this year. We have 2 that'll run next year and 3 that'll run in 25. Okay. You would swear them in at this meeting. Mm-hmm. You establish the meeting dates for the year. Typically, we've gone the 4th Monday of the month. And that could change this year. You have a new treasurer, and I'll sit with David Sheldon and see what works for him, because I can make most dates work with what I do. It's the treasurer who has to close the books and get the end of the month, reconciliations, everything done. It's more to them. What date works for you. So we'll establish those dates. And what I do is I put that out there on our website. You can go to central office, and all the meeting dates will be right there below the picture of the board. So I'll update that the day after the board meeting. I'll put out there who the president, who the vice president. We have 5 committees. You have the finance, and they meet with the treasurer, discuss the forecast, and how things are looking. You have a legislative liaison committee, which we send board members down to Capitol Conference, where you can hear workshops from attorneys, see what laws are out there, what legislation could impact schools. We have the negotiation and personnel committee. Luckily, we are still in a 3-year contract. We don't have to entertain negotiations till next year, next school year. School facilities, and they've been busy because we've had a lot of renovations with the ESSER dollars, the federal dollars that came in. So they've been busy meeting with me and establishing, what we're doing with the money. And then you have the board policy review. We have quarterly updates. So each quarter we have new policies that come out from Ohio School Board Association to keep us compliant with law. And they sit with me, we review the policies, make sure they're tailored to our district, because you have a little bit of flexibility. And then the board does 2 reads on them, and we make it policy. So that's kind of how that goes. So there'll be something on our website. We'll post it on Facebook, and we'll put a media release out that'll tell, who serves on what committees and who the president, vice president, and what the meeting dates are. So we try to keep the community up to speed if they want to come see a board meeting.
Okay.
Also, during the organizational meeting, there'll be the assignment of duties to the treasurer, giving him the authority to invest and transfer and make sure that we're compliant financially. And they give me duties of which I can hire in emergency situations with board approval at the next meeting. Otherwise, you'd be stuck without somebody unless you call an emergency meeting. They allow me to spend up to $25,000 on things that we need for the district, and after that, we have to do a board approval prior to doing something like that, with the exception of food, payroll, and utilities. So a lot of how the meetings will run for the rest of the year is set in that organizational meeting, you know, and
sure.
we do ours typically on January 4th. Last year was January 4th, and this year January 4th. So a lot of stuff happens that first week in January.
Sure, yes.
I talked a little bit, we board approved company Apogee in December. They will handle our school app. It'll be
Okay.
emergency calls, emergency text. They'll have a piece that's called Thrill Share, to where I could be at an event, take a picture, boom, put it out there, and it'll go to everybody's app.
Oh,
And they can
great,
see
yeah.
what's happening in real time in the district. And they can go to our website, which is being redone by this group. They'll completely overhaul our website to make it more up to date and compliant with, you know, Americans with Disability Act. It'll be good, and I think people will find it very usable. That they can just click an app on their phone and see the menu, the school calendar, you know, what's happening. So we're excited about that. We'll roll that out next year. They're going to build the website this whole second semester.
Okay.
So we've already paid to have that piece done, and then over the summer they'll train us on how to use it. And when we roll out in the fall,
Good. Wow.
we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
To see that. I know Winford has it and Pioneer, and I've talked to some people who use it and they love it. You know, it's an easy way. You don't have to go to a website and try to navigate. You just go boom on your app and you're seeing what's happening. Project updates. I like to update where we're at in projects when I'm on here as much as possible. The north building, the boilers and handlers are all installed except for the pool. To do the pool, and I think I said in the last meeting, we'd have to shut the pool down for 7 days.
Yeah.
And I found, if I've learned anything 11 years as superintendent, when they say 7 days, it means 14.
Right, sure,
Or 21.
yeah.
And during swim season, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
So that'll be the last piece that'll be installed as soon as swim season's over, and then they can put the controls on. People have been coming to the basketball game saying, man, it's hot in here.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have controls on those new boilers yet. We're just
Okay.
kind of guessing. And when you have temperature go about a 90-degree
Yeah,
difference
right.
in a week,
Right.
it's tough to guess. So
Right.
I apologize for those of you who've been sweating in the stands. We should have that up to speed soon to where we can actually hit a specific temperature we want. Again, the metal roof is slated to be put on in June. The shingled section that was put on in 2004 over the K2, 3, 5, and intermediate wings will be all replaced with metal. 40-year warranty. I mean, my lifetime it won't even be replaced, and you know,
Sure.
we're excited to get that done. And we had money available to do that, and we had new doors and windows that are going on the pool. Again, can't do it now because we're in pool season, but ESSER dollars, federal money. I said we're going to improve air quality in there because the windows will be open at the top if we need to get some of that chlorine air out of there, and they're paying for that project. Additional lighting to the stadium, we'll do that in July. We're gonna put 2 additional light poles to light up the area. When you go down to the stadium and watch a football game, you park in there. It's kind of an area of a dead zone. It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to get that lit up so people, you know, they're not tripping and, you know, they can see their way better. And then enhanced camera systems. I've got it now to where it's so nice. I got 2 calls over the break. Mr. Martin, your alarms are going off. We had an officer responding. Would you like to respond? And now I can pull open my camera.
Right.
And I can see that coach or teacher who forgot to turn the alarm off.
Sure.
And I can say in real time, no, call the deputy off.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need it. I can see who it is, and I can reset the alarm on my phone. I can watch the cameras. And it's money well spent.
Yeah.
Back in my early days as superintendent, I'd have to jump in the car.
Oh,
I'd
sure,
have to drive
yeah.
out there. I'd have to walk the buildings with a deputy and figure
Yeah.
out, you know, was there a breach or was it a staff member? And
Yeah.
now we don't have to do that anymore.
Well, that's good.
So
yeah.
it's kind of nice.
Yes.
Remaining ESSER dollars. We had about $1.2 to $1.3 million of ESSER dollars we got, and most of it we plugged into the building.
Yeah.
Boilers, air handlers, windows, doors, things that we needed, and we really never had the budget to do. But we have $120,000 that has to be spent on instructional materials for educational loss. So we'll be meeting this spring, the principals, and talking about, with our curriculum consultants, you know, looking at our scores, looking at the data, where can that money best be utilized to help kids who are struggling? So that's a piece that we'll spend that remaining $120,000. It was, I could look back and honestly say, in the end, money well spent.
Sure.
You know, it's things that we needed, we didn't waste it. It's money we would have had to spend anyhow. So
Sure. Right.
been tickled with that. We've started up 2 teams. So the first one is a traumatic event crisis intervention plan. It's a team. It's called TSEP. In the event of a catastrophe or crisis, you know, you always say if a student or staff member were to pass away or something tragic would happen.
Yeah.
It's not if.
Right.
When it happens,
Right.
are you ready?
Right.
So we sent a team of 7, and I was on the team to get trained on things like how do you communicate with the community, how do you organize and assign duties to staff to deal with the kids who are going to be grieving,
Right.
how do you deal with the staff who are going to be grieving,
Right.
how do you deal with the family, how do you provide support. You know, we learned this firsthand last year when we lost Ryan Taylorvic, and he
Right.
was you have a person that meant that much to a community.
Right.
It was work. It was getting people in the right places to help kids, to help staff, to help the family. And I think now we're at a place, I don't want to say we're ready for it, but we can deal with if it happens to try to help people. So we've got 7 members that have been officially trained, some of them 2 years in a row. And then we got 17 members that if something happens, I send out a mass message. We're getting together at the school and we're planning out, okay, how are we going to deal with this? Because everyone's going to be different.
Sure.
So we've got that in play. Another piece that we have coming up this month is the threat assessment team. That'll be a team of 5 to 6 members. You want to have a counselor, administration, somebody familiar with your building that knows the air, you know, different things with the building, the security, your SRO. And they're basically going to train us on how to identify if we have a threat. Say you have a student who's unstable, you have a parent community member, and you want to discuss how do we keep the building safe. You know, do we allow a person in the building? Do we allow a student to come back to school before counseling? They're going to train us on all those pieces. And that's law. That has to be done by this spring. You have to have a team trained to do it. And I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
You look around what's happened in communities over the years, you need to be evaluated.
yes.
If you have a kid struggling, you want to make sure that you deal with that child to where you don't put others in danger. And it's a serious role.
Yes,
It's another team I want to be on because I want to understand,
Sure.
you know, also what's happening. You know, if we're going to deny a kid access to the building, we need to know why we're doing that.
Most definitely, yeah.
So times are crazy. I mean,
They are.
I don't know if it's more crazier back in the day, but we're aware of it.
Yeah.
And social media kind of lends a hand to it. And, you know, I've said this before. When I was in school, if you had issues with kids, it ended at 2:50 because you went home.
Right, exactly. Now,
You know?
now it's 24/7.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think when a kid goes home now,
Yeah.
it could intensify
Right.
because now they have their phones back on.
Right, yeah.
And now they could be just a target of all kinds
Sure.
of nasty. I'm glad technology wasn't there when I was a
Same
kid.
here. We united
It
to
was
deal with
easy.
that. It was easy, yeah.
You know, I grew up with a party line.
Yeah, me
and
too,
you had to
yeah.
get the phone and see if your neighbor was on it, and if they were, you had to hang it back up.
Me too. Yep, same thing. Yep.
Mom and Dad would give me a 5 to 10 minute
Yep.
to call my girlfriend. I just say
Yeah.
all the things I had to say in 5 to 10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, right, exactly.
And hang up, and I would remember. I'd hear somebody always picking up the phone because they wanted to use
You hear
it
click,
too.
click, click. Oh, yeah. I remember those days. I
You
sure
know,
do.
and life was simple then.
It
You went
was.
outside, you played, you didn't
Right.
have to worry about the social media pressures and getting in trouble with, you know, sometimes kids can get in trouble with their phones and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
different things that are out
Yeah,
there.
right.
I think we had it easier.
I think we did
As
too.
kids.
We didn't have to worry as much as the kids do these days. We didn't have cyberbullying and all that.
No, you didn't. And when I got to a destination, I called home. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And when I was leaving to come home, I'd say I'm leaving.
Yeah,
And my parents knew what was going on.
exactly, right, yeah.
You know, now we're in a day and age. I can tell you exactly where my
Yeah.
daughter's at with 360.
Yeah.
She's at this place.
Yeah,
And when she's traveling, I can
Same
tell
here.
how fast she's going.
same here. I get the same ad. Yes, I do. Yeah,
I do like that
yeah,
aspect of it.
yeah, uh-huh, yep.
You know, I walk in here today and I'm just exhausted. I was telling you before we got
Yeah.
on the air that I've been convincing my wife. I've always had mastiffs
Yes.
throughout our marriage, big
Yeah.
dogs. I put my last one down about a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
So I've been asking for about a year and a half. Can I get another one?
Yeah,
Can I get another
right,
one? And she
right.
finally caved over Christmas break, right before Christmas.
Yeah.
If you really need to have one, I'll let you get one. So I
Yeah.
knew somebody had one. I called right away. Hey, can I get that puppy?
Yeah.
You know, last night as I'm getting ready to come back to school for the first day, I'm getting up at 12:30, 2:30, 4 o'clock, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I forgot how hard puppies were.
Oh, yeah, they're a lot of work.
Oh, so I'm sleep
Yeah.
deprived. I was irritable
Yeah.
this morning trying to get my coffee in.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to keep in mind, it's the long haul. That
Yeah.
dog's going to be awesome
It
once
will
we get out of this puppyhood.
It'll be great. They'll be fine after that, right.
I want to put one last plug in.
Sure,
I
Tom.
still want to encourage people. We have that military board we've created in the North Building, and I've got a lot of pictures that have been sent in, and it's really, really neat to see people from Vietnam era on the board, to the Gulf War, to the War on Terror. I mean, we've got quite an area. I need more pictures, and I would like to get more pictures because I think it tells a story of who we are as a district and as a community, are people who have served and have been willing to put everything on the line for this country. And I want to honor them, and I want to add them to the board. So if you have a family member, maybe yourself, who graduated from Colonel Crawford, and you have a picture of you, you can send it to me through the email. Go to our website. You can bring it to me to a ball game, mail it to me, and I will get it up on that board because we want to honor you. We appreciate all you do. Thank you for your service.
Great. That's great, Todd.
Other than that, that's kind of where we're at in the district. Still exciting place to be, and I'm excited for what 2023 brings.
All right, we're excited for you to come in and talk about it.
Thanks as always for having me.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.